It seems that the more we advance as a society, we also come up with more ways to trick each other. From photography to modern-day art, it seems that there is a whole world around us trying to mess with our brains. Can it be fun? Sure. To make your life more interesting, here are some photos that will mess with your mind. As we get ready to mess with your minds, how about you mess with your video streaming and subscribe to our channel? If you enjoy tricks and trivia, this is definitely the channel for you. All you need to do is hit that lovely red subscribe button and you're on your way. Passing shadows. Let's start off with this photo of what seems to be simply a chance meeting. We'll address the shadows first. If you couldn't see the bodies in this picture, you could easily assume that we caught the shadows of a loving couple about to kiss. However, once you look to the right and see what's actually happening, the coincidence is mind-blowing. The crazy thing about it is that this guy notices the girl, but she doesn't notice him. Aw, it's like a story of star-crossed lovers. One can imagine that moments like this could even inspire a movie, because how often do we have moments like this and keep walking, unaware of what just happened? Perhaps they eventually found each other. We can only dream, and this photo is a cruel tease of that fantasy. Which way is up? There are crazy optical illusions that can happen naturally thanks to Mother Nature, but sometimes there are some crazy things afoot that's challenging to figure out. So this picture is definitely messing with all of our minds here at The Richest. One can only say that maybe there's a cardboard cutout at play, maybe some photo editing, or brilliantly timed jumping, but we can't say for sure. If there is any sort of Photoshop at play here, it is pretty darn good. For a moment, there was a theory that the guy behind the other one was holding him up, but you can see his hand. Do you know what's going on here? Feel free to tell us in the comments because this photo is probably one of the champions when it comes to messing with our minds. Two-Face. It's amazing how one picture of a person can turn into an optical illusion when cropped a certain way. We see this photo of a man and he is definitely facing forward. However, if you look at the way the photo is cut in half, your brain can definitely see the photo in a different light. When looking straight at the photo, man is facing forward. When looking to the right, the man seems to be standing at a side profile instead. It's like you can watch the photo mold into something completely different right before your eyes. Aren't optical illusions so much fun? It also seems like the side cutout was made to match the man, which makes the illusion even more compelling. You could say it's that extra touch to guarantee that it messes with our mind. Hole time. Say you were living somewhere like New York City or London, where they have a subway system that most people depend on to get around. In bigger cities, you can expect there to be some rather colorful characters, and you're likely to run into a few of them on the train. What would you do if you were on the train doing your usual commute, then you look up and see this? Well, you might be a bit startled. This effect is actually pretty clever as the makeup utilizes both eyes to create a completely new set of eyes on each side. It just goes to show that you don't even need to have a complete face on each side to create the illusion. As you can see, there's just enough imagery there that works like a puzzle, providing enough information for our brain to fill in the gaps. Cat Lady. When you look at the picture, you may think this is a photo or a painting of a white striped tiger. The image is gorgeous, with every little detail noted from the whiskers to the color of the fur to even the light reflection in the big kitty's eyes. But you're actually looking at a woman's bare backside. It's truly amazing how body painting has become a whole genre of art onto its own. When an artist and a model join forces, there's no telling what they might create. In this case, one can use body painting to mess with our minds and forever make us question whether or not we're looking at an animal or a human. Add in a body contortionist, and you have something crazy to look at. Disappearing legs. In the laws of sciences, one's legs cannot disappear, and the human body can't just float in mid-air. So with this photo, there is something weird going on. Or is there? Maybe the girl in the photo is wearing leopard print leggings that perfectly match the flooring. That is probably the most logical explanation. Other possibilities could be that the camera malfunctioned somehow, or the girl is a ghost. She does look a bit creepy anyway, and looking at the camera like she doesn't want to deal with anyone else's business or shenanigans. Who knows? We can definitely say that if you want to mess with someone's mind, show them this picture and have them try to figure it out. Hidden drop. There is nothing more terrifying than walking on the street and seeing that the ground has disappeared all of a sudden. Today, more artists than ever are taking their work and putting it out on the streets. Maybe we should say they're drawing their art on the streets. What better way to get your work exposed? This is much more than just drawing pictures, stick figures, and portraits. Brilliant artists who have an eye for shadow and depth are able to create pictures that look like the ground just drops into a beautiful canyon with a waterfall. This picture here makes it look like you can't walk across, and there's a refreshing pool of water waiting for you beneath that waterfall. Some of these pictures are looking so realistic these days that people aren't willing to take the risk and walk across them. The moon. Optical illusion photography has been taking off, and there's no telling what we're looking at these days. In this photo, you might think that it's just a guy with a glowing ball in a wheelbarrow. Well, that is the actual moon. Photography with the moon has become increasingly popular. What's mind-bending about this picture is that it has to be perfectly timed with the placement and direction of the moon's cycle. There are others as well. There are those who play basketball with the moon and even take photos where people are pushing the moon up. Amazing what photographers can accomplish when they have the time and creativity, not to mention dedication, to complete an ambitious project such as this. We are halfway done with this video, and that means it's time for a quiz. One of the most popular ways to watch movies these days is in 3D, which has changed the way we look at movies and sometimes messes with our mind. What year was the first 3D movie produced? Stick around until the end to find out the answer. Crazy dice. Well, we can certainly draw pictures that can mess with our mind, but what about actual objects? For example, what is going on with this set of dice? Where is the front and where is the back? Is it 3D? There's a lot going on here that only provokes more questions than answers, and that is truly messing with our minds. As we can see in the reflection of the dice on the table, it seems to be the real deal. So what angle are we looking at? We can probably assume that the dice are glued together somehow because those angles wouldn't happen by gravity alone. This photo is truly confusing, and there is so much to learn from it. But thanks to the internet, this photo has made its rounds a few times, and the photo's origin story is up in the air. What do you think is going on in this picture? Little guy. Let's take a moment and let this photo sink in. Really appreciate what you're seeing here at face value. The beauty of coincidence is truly hilarious. While we can figure out what is going on in this photo, the first impression is definitely messing with our minds a bit. Of course, there's not really a little man riding on the back of that woman. He's chillin' and minding his own business in the background, completely unaware of what is happening in front of him. What is even more hilarious is that no one probably noticed how truly epic this photo would become, all thanks to a black band around the woman's shirt. That black band makes it look like this little man is wearing pants and is all saddled up, ready to ride off into the sunset with his fellow buckaroos. Giant seagull. What is happening? Someone call Alfred Hitchcock, call the fire department, call animal control. The birds have figured out how to grow into giants. The world is ending. Ah! Okay, we might be a bit dramatic. This photo is a great example of how proportions can't be taken at face value. The seagull is clearly closest to the camera and just chilling while its photo is being taken. The man in the background is just walking to where he needs to go, totally unaware that he's become a character in this giant seagull story. This picture is definitely humorous and messes with our minds because, well, it gives us a realistic look at just what could happen should birds become giants and take over the world. Inception house. There's a lot going on in this picture. When you first look at this picture, you might be wondering how people can lay on the side of a house and not fall off. Memories of watching the movie Inception may even come to mind. But the people in this picture don't need Leonardo DiCaprio to try to save them. Plus, there aren't two houses forming the shape of a V. Look at the reflection in the background. There is a massive mirror standing upright while the people are lying down in front of the camera. You can actually see the photographer in the reflection. Of course, this photo can mess with your mind if you don't know what you're looking at. But with all incredible photos, it's safe to say that there is always an explanation. You just have to look close enough to figure out what it is. Invisible man. Oh, hockey. There are a plethora of possibilities that can happen during a game. For anyone who watches a lot of hockey, and we're looking at you Canadians, then you're well aware that the sport can get a tad physical at times. There's a lot of colliding, brawls, and more. and that can be the spectators sometimes. In this picture, it might look like the hockey player against the plexiglass is fighting against the invisible man. While it's humorous, it also means that the player got hit so hard that his helmet flew right off his head. You gotta love the combination of perfect timing and the apathy that is happening on the spectators' faces. But also, that moment might have happened so fast that no one noticed it until the photo was released. Godzilla? When in doubt, always look closer. The picture we're seeing here can definitely mess with your mind. We have a guy here who is towering over a city block. That town looks so convincing that you can easily say that it's real. Well, it's actually a Lego town. Remember those Lego models of the White House you built as a kid? It's the same thing. This photo is actually of Stefan Bentivoglio, who is a master Lego builder and a project coordinator of Legoland theme parks. What we're seeing here is not a guest breaking some rules, but instead it's Bentivoglio putting the final touches on a display and checking out his work. Of course, it looks like a giant is emerging from the water and rampaging through a town. But now you know that you might be able to achieve your Godzilla dreams at a Legoland park. Riding a tiger. Is this woman riding a tiger through a busy square? Nope. This is the result of some brilliant chalk art, and the woman is actually kneeling on the ground. With the right adjustments, she made herself look like she was riding a tiger and having the time of her life. In reality, it would be a bit difficult to ride a tiger, even a trained one. This chalk art is rather brilliant because with the 3D effects, you can't even tell that this piece is lying flat on the ground. Instead, it looks like the art is standing upright. Even if it's a totally artistic piece and not real, you would still be convinced that you could walk right up to it and touch it. Like the canyon that was drawn on the ground, this work of art will definitely mess with your mind as you walk through a city square. What year was the first 3D movie produced? 1935. Was that earlier than you expected? We were surprised too. So, how's your brain feeling? Tell us in the comments and mess with your mind even more by checking out these other videos from our channel. Before you go, be sure to take that sweet moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications so you'll know the moment we upload a new video. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!